Mr. Zales, and welcome to the first episode of New Year, New Me Christmas Edition. Christmas is a great time to reflect on how you've grown as a person. Fortunately for you, I'll be talking about how I've grown as a reader from first quarter to second quarter. There will be 4 areas of growth. The first area will be studying the new worlds that authors create in their novels. Second will be lingering in the details. Third will be my interpretations of the poems. And finally, I'll be talking about my use of a dictionary. Now sit back, relax, grab a bag of popcorn, and let's dive right in. The first area of growth that I want to focus on is my ability to understand that authors create new worlds, so I must study those new worlds before I connect them with the worlds I already know. This skill is seen most prominently in The Great Gatsby and Of Mice and Men. In both of these novels, the author created a world in which the American dream was a false reality. I was able to understand that Steinbeck wanted his audience to perceive the American dream as something that never truly occurs due to the challenges that life constantly throws at us. He also expresses that not everyone can complete the American dream because of those challenges. Fitzgerald, on the other hand, was expressing that people never truly achieve the American dream because they are greedy. No matter what, people are always going to want to strive for more wealth and success. By pinpointing these 2 messages on the American dream, I was able to ignore my preconceptions on this idea that I have developed from my history classes so I could truly understand what worlds these 2 authors created. Oh hey! Before we head on to the next skill, I have a little question for you. What do you call people afraid of Santa Claus? Claustrophobic. By understanding the worlds that each author created, I was also able to linger in the details of each text even further than I did at the end of first quarter. I not only focused on figurative language like I did last quarter, but I also focused on the symbolism. For instance, in Home Burial, I did not fully understand the significance of the positioning between the husband and wife due to my inability to focus on all the details within the poem. However, if you look through all my reading journals from this semester, especially Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening and Great Gatsby, you will see that I questioned every little detail of the text. I really spent time looking at the novel as a whole and how those little details symbolized an important message or concept that contributed to the effect of the novel on its audience. For example, each color represented in The Great Gatsby was not present just for its visual effect, but they also represented the true personalities of each character. In fact, in my reading journal, I discussed how Gatsby was always associated with gold, the color of wealth, but many of his belongings, including his gardens, were blue, representing his true loneliness. Moreover, in both Of Mice and Men and Gatsby, I was able to see that each character's name reflected their personality as well. Although I understood the significance of the names better in Gatsby than I did in Of Mice and Men, which shows that I not only grew as a reader from the first quarter to second, but also within the second quarter. In Frost's poem, I focused on the possible meaning of the horse and man who own the house in the woods. I did not just focus on the narrator, but questioned the presence of both characters as well. Furthermore, in Home Burial, the door had a double meaning, representing both an escape from the marriage as well as a barrier that separated the stage of mourning from the real world. I was unable to see this double meaning until a peer pointed it out during the Socratic. However, in Frost's poem from second quarter, I was able to see the double meaning behind sleep. I stated that sleep could be understood in the context of death, but it could also literally mean that he has many things to do before he makes it home to rest. I'm back and here with another question. What did Mrs. Claus say to Santa when she looked up at the sky? Looks like it's rain, dear. Alright, let's get back into it. Additionally, during this quarter, I have grown to develop interpretations of poems that account for all details of the text. For instance, in Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening, I interpreted the woods as a place where the narrator reflects on his life while finally learning to enjoy the little things about nature, so he'll not have regrets when his life ends. As you can see by the pictures shown, I use quotes from the poem that infer that the narrator is reflecting on the beauties of nature, but I also provided quotes that show that the narrator's life is coming to a near end. I interpreted the darkness and depth of the woods that the narrator describes as the oncoming of death, while the promises that he has to keep and miles to go before he sleeps represents all the things that he wants to do before he dies. Though there are other interpretations that could also be correct, My interpretation is not wrong because I am able to defend it with many pieces of evidence from the poem. In the past, I would just create an interpretation from a poem based on a few pieces of evidence rather than many pieces, like I did for stopping by the woods on a snowy evening.
Alright, last one, I swear. When does Christmas come before Thanksgiving? Oh, right, in the dictionary. Speaking of dictionary, let's get back to that last skill.
Finally, during second quarter, I took advantage of my resources using a dictionary to look up any unfamiliar words so I could better interpret what the text was dictating. This skill really helped me understand the significance of Gatsby's name as well as why the youngest character on the ranch was nicknamed Wit. Gat means gun, which foreshadowed the way Gatsby was murdered, and Wit means small part, which hinted towards Wit being the youngest and smallest man who does not have a big role on the farm. Without this skill, I would have never understood why Fitzgerald and Steinbeck decided to name these two characters with those specific names.
And so the reflection comes to a close. I hope that wasn't too boring. Now, before I let you go, let's recap on what you've learned. First, you learned I'm a little bit obsessed with Christmas. Second, you've learned that I've grown quite a bit as a reader this quarter. I explored different texts in further details, taking into account the symbolism that was found in both Great Gatsby and Of Mice and Men. I've learned to ignore my preconceptions on different ideas so that I could truly understand the worlds that authors create. I've come to understand that my interpretations need to be supported by all aspects of the text, and I've understood the importance of using a dictionary. In first quarter, I learned the significance and benefit of rereading, and I started understanding the importance of details. With all this hard work that I've put in this semester and the growth that has come from this, I just wanted to add that the purpose of AP Lang is to grow as a reader and show that you have learned to be more analytical in your reading rather than just reading for the plot. Therefore, I think I have showed you in more ways than one, specifically 6 ways, I have become a more analytical reader this semester, which has helped me appreciate the work of an author beyond just their creative plot. The greatest gift I could get this year is an A in AP Lang. I hope you have the happiest of holidays. See you in 2018.